Good afternoon. I think it's time to get started. Hey there, Raider. Welcome to the stream. Redeeming first. Awesome. Let's see. I'm double checking a few things here. Yeah, I think we are ready to go. Let me take down the starting soon screen here. And there we go. All right. Let's jump right into it. As usual lately, I'm starting off here in this space tracker screen because I like the background music for the intro. But yeah, we've got a few things on the plate today. Among them, we've got a viewer named Kerbal. Kefri Bezos. Twiglet redeemed that. We'll see if he drops by today. Hopefully he'll be here for that rescue. Let's see. The last one we did was Optimus Prime, redeemed by Satan. So that's one thing on the agenda today. Another thing is to drive around the P.I.G.L.E.T rover, which is what I think we're going to start with today. We've got some sights to see, and I think we've got some good spots to do some science close by. And the big event today is we're going to launch another mission to Moho. We are only 1 week away from the next optimal transfer window, and we're going to take advantage of that for sure. So let's go ahead and jump to the P.I.G.L.E.T science rover, which I have parked on a nice crater ridge. I drove it around a little bit between streams, not a ton, but kind of got the lay of the land and an idea of where we want to take it. But yeah, here we are on the edge of a nice crater. It looks like it's middle of the day here on the moon, and we should be able to see... There it is. There's Kerbin right over there on the horizon. Very nice. In fact, we can... I already got a good screenshot of this, but we can change our field of view here and just enjoy that sight. That is pretty cool. Actually, I don't have one. This is different lighting and a different angle, so I'm going to take another screenshot there. I can't help myself. All right, let's look at the map. So there is where we landed, and where I would like to go, these craters here are a different biome, and so we can get some more science data from there. And I think these big craters, or medium-sized craters that are actually shown here on the map, they're not the procedurally generated ones, and I think that they are also their own biome. Each one of them isn't a separate biome, but every crater is part of the same crater biome. I think that's how this works. So let's drive pretty much due south, it looks like. Well, no, let's drive west into this crater, and then we'll drive due south. We'll see if there's a safe route in, because we don't want to get stuck. That would be unfortunate. That would be the end of the mission. So it looks like right now we are facing just south of east. Let's remove the parking brake there. And being the middle of the day, we should have plenty of battery power. Okay, so that way is south, and we want to go west. So, oh, that's nice. We get to go right towards Kerbin and enjoy this view. So, Raider, I think you weren't here for it, but when we landed the crew for this rover, Shipwreck and Kit, you were the pilot. Raider Kerman was the pilot, and we had another tipped over ship that we had to kind of jump up a ramp in order to launch it. So we since you were the pilot, Raider Kerman, we were blaming you. Yeah, I've upgraded my my PC, and it is running noticeably smoother, at least for me. Okay, is this a bigger crater? We're gonna spin out, but that's okay. I'm gonna see if there's more data. I can't remember if there are two different sizes of these. And if so, which one we've already done and which one we haven't. So let's stop by this crater real quick, just in case there's some more science to be gathered, because we want all we can get. We are trying to grind up the science and the money so that we can... So that changes to surface. There we go. Turn on the parking brake there. Yeah, so that we can upgrade the science center. Uh-oh. That is broken. We can repair it, though. Yeah, we want to upgrade the Research and Technology Center, and then we can upgrade our engines on our ships. Get a huge upgrade if we can unlock those technologies. All right, so Shipwreck is the engineer. Whoa, there we go. Let's let go. And does he have any EVA repair packs on him? No, so he'll have to get one out of the cargo pod. I'm pretty sure we have several remaining. Yeah. And we need to fix this science arm. I think we have that one more and 3 more over here. 4 more over there. Okay, good. Repair. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that would have been unfortunate if we couldn't do that science. But, okay, go ahead and get back in, Shipwreck. And I should put a ladder on the back of this for future ones, because you can't quite reach that without either jumping, which is overkill, or using his jetpack. Grab that and board. New rewards are pretty cheap. I did. I set time limits, so there are timers on them. I just added them, so I'm testing them out. So that's part of why they are inexpensive. So all right, let's okay, scan distance is 2 meters, and there's no target in range, so we need to get a little bit closer. Like that. Raider redeeming stretch. I knew you were about to do that. All right, I'm gonna stand up here. Yeah, my back has been killing me lately, so they got to give the audio clue since I don't have a cam going. All right, but that felt really good. And my back, yeah, 30-minute cooldown. Thank you, Raider, for testing that out. But yeah, that will reset my posture and stretch out my back, and that will help. Okay, scan moon large crater. Okay, this might be... Are there 3 different sizes? There might be... Because I think I saw a contract for scanning a medium-sized one. Yep, and 20 for the water, which today I have an IPA. So hydrate is kind of in air quotes. There we go. Thank you, Raider. All right, so yeah, that's new. Fantastic. Okay, not really a huge crater, but still a large crater with potentially larger and more interesting features, or just a good place to hide and take a nap. It's a type of beer, India Pale Ale, my favorite type of beer. All right, that is great. Let's go ahead and transmit that. Oh, so not isopropyl alcohol. No. Ethyl alcohol. Literally rocket fuel, but way too dilute to actually use as rocket fuel. All right, that's 80 science. And in the future, we can come with better scanning arms and get more data from these. So, although by then we'll probably, hopefully, have moved on to bigger and better things. Let's see how we stand on the science. We have 541. I think it's 550 that I need for the next tier of science, but I also need to spend about 1.5 million spaceos to upgrade the research facilities before that is even possible. But hey, that was a good find. All right, now let's continue on west with Kerbal on the horizon to guide us. So we fishtailed just a bit. There we go. And stabilized. Let's look on the map. All right, we've got a little bit to go, but already this has been very productive. I think that might even be it. That ridge that we see over there. Yeah, okay, that is the crater that we are going for. So that's actually not that far away. We're gonna be careful not to drive too fast because we don't want to go over the edge when we're not ready. I think that's just terrain scatter, but just in case that's one of the moon rocks that we can sample. Yeah, that's just terrain scatter, so no collision mesh there. That would have been safe. Whoa, okay. We are spinning just a bit. Traction is awful on the moon. We're going to have bigger wheels soon too, and so the next rover will be much bigger and have onboard processing facilities, etc. In fact, I have an idea for a surface base. I've been working on my my backronyms, and I think what I'm going to call my first surface base, whether it's on the moon or on Minmus, is the Science, Materials, and Research Technology Base, SMRT. SMRT. That is my idea there. Alright, we've got control back. I'm gonna put fine control back on. I think I forgot to put on the caps lock, and that is causing this to be a little bit touchy to control. Inputs are at 50%, I think, is what it is when the caps lock is on, which makes very smart acronym. Yes, thanks. Makes it very difficult to do fine adjustments to steering unless you got caps lock on. See the view from inside. There we go. Look at that. They're having a good time. It's still eerily quiet. There really should be some noise in there. All right, let's slow down a bit. Or, whoa. Yeah, let's just let it slide a bit. Yeah, driving in low gravity on slick dust. Be interesting. I haven't really seen a lot about the rovers that we drove on the moon, which is kind of surprising because they're so interesting. Looks like you're driving on ice. It feels like I'm driving on ice. It really does. It isn't really simulating dust, but it is simulating that there is relatively low friction, not like ice friction, but combine that with about 1/6 of a g of gravity, and yeah, it gets pretty rough. Okay, yeah, we are headed up the lip of the crater. Tell you what, things feel like. It feels like I'm driving faster with the new CPU, and I think it's just simply having the higher frame rate and it not having to slow down for physics makes the game feel faster. Which, you know what? I'll take it. Our biome is still the lowlands, and let's see if there's a gentle way down into this crater and if it is indeed a new biome. Fingers are crossed. Otherwise, we're going south. Well, we're going south either way. And that might be the actual ridge. Yeah, that's the actual ridge right there. So... yeah. we're gonna have to see if we can safely get in there. Maybe if we get onto just that side of the edge, maybe it will count us as in a new biome. That's what I'm hoping. Getting very close here. I know I say this every time, but I would love to do this in real life. This this looks so much fun. Okay, why are we back at target? There we go. Let's actually clear the target selection, and then it won't keep trying to go back to target reference like that. Very nice. Now, where does the new biome start? If it is a new biome, because this looks pretty rough to get back up. I don't know if these wheels have the traction or the power to do that. Unless driving on the moon reminds me of Futurama. We're whalers on the moon, we carry a harpoon. I don't know the rest of the words, but yes, I know exactly what you mean. I love that episode. That's not how it happened. Yeah, it's struggling even to get up this. So if we go into that crater, there is a contingency plan that might get us out. But it's a very risky contingency plan. Okay, yeah, we are sliding. It looks like we might be going... Okay, we're gonna reverse. Like this. There we go. Oh, come on, you can do it. I do have some very small rocket motors. I have 6 of them. So if it's the only way out of a crater, we might use that. Otherwise, we might, once we're down there, if we can't get out of the crater, abandon the rover at that point. Let's go ahead and go south around the ridge and keep investigating. Now, this is something they have to look out for with like the Mars rovers, for example, and very carefully choose their paths so as not to end their mission early. Of course, I could at the very least send a Kerbal down there, and they can use their jetpack to get back out. Yeah, this is easier to carefully steer now that I've remembered to turn on the fine-tuned controls. Yeah, maybe over there. Kevin McLeod, Discovery Hit Fanfare. Trekkersaurus9, thank you for following. Welcome to the stream. We are driving a science rover around the rim of this crater, hoping to find a safe way down that will let us come back up, and I'm not sure there is one. But the view sure is nice. And that is a sharp ridge over there. Let's go ahead and put on the brake. I'll slide a little bit. And let's look at the map. Okay, so there's this one to the south, and this one even souther than that. So maybe this one, which will be probably easier to get out of, maybe this one will also count. I'm hoping. And I'm also assuming that this is one of those craters. I'm pretty sure it is, but I'm not 100%. But this crater right here to the south looks like a safer candidate. So hopefully we can get some science down there. So it'd be great to already have the science points, so when we have the funding to upgrade the research and technology building, we can immediately unlock the new technologies, because we are being very much held back by our technology level right now, and particularly in engines. And I also am hoping in the not too distant future to unlock the ability to process ore on, for example, the moon or Minmus, and process it into rocket fuel. That will make refueling these missions a whole lot less expensive, because right now that is crippling the economy of our space program. Alright, what's the view like up here? Let's go around this. Whoa. Okay, that was one with a collision mesh. Okay. Oh, that was pretty good though. Alright, we're braking. Okay, this still unfortunately counts as lowlands. Yeah, the rocks that you can actually do science on do have collision meshes. Friendly reminder of that. Alright, yeah, this is still the lowlands. Looks like someone brought their tuba, or sounds like someone brought their tuba. Yeah, 10 meters per second and we get that much air. Well, vacuum. That one does not have a collision mesh. Safe. Alright, let's go up. That one does, so don't hit that one, Dan. Let's go up to this peak right here. And do another survey of the area. Okay. Brakes. Quiglet, welcome. Glad to see you here. I was hoping you would be here for the rescue of Kefri Bezos. Kefri is awaiting rescue in orbit of Kerbal. You can almost see him from here. So after we do a little bit more of this driving, not first today, nope, you were beaten to the punch. But yeah, after some driving around on the moon with the P.I.G.L.E.T, we are going to rescue Kefri Bezos Kerman. Well, hopefully he's alright. I mean, he got himself stuck in space, so that's a thing. Running out of snacks, I'm sure. Alright, we're headed up to this peak right here, this little plateau, and we're going to survey the area and see if there's a safe way down into one of these craters that will hopefully let us get back out again. That's the key. Because with the low gravity and the power and traction that I have on these wheels, these slopes are not ones that we can traverse. Okay, yeah, that crater looks a lot more navigable than that one does. So let's just go for it. Let's go for that crater. We're going to very carefully, gently go over this lip here. And I like, in general, driving around these big boulders, even though it doesn't technically matter since they don't have a collision mesh. And fingers crossed this counts as a different biome once we get down in there. We're going fast. Oh, man. Oh, the control on this thing. Yeah, bigger wheels are going to be a big help. But again, we need to grind the science and the money before we can get those. Still the lowlands. Go in as straight as possible. Try not to spin out. And that looks like a danger rock right there. One of the science ones that'll actually bump us if we hit it. All right, and there's not a lot I can do from here. Just little nudges. If I hit the brakes too hard, we're going to spin right out, and I'd rather go in with the same direction as the wheels than sideways and spinning out. Here we go, some air. Nice. Did anyone ever play that game Moon Patrol on either arcade or on like Atari or Apple? Apple II. Alright, we're in the big crater. And it still says lowlands. Dang it! Yeah, 24 meters per second. That's pretty good. What is that about? 50 miles an hour, I think? For those more accustomed to those measurements. Okay, there's a crater over there, but I think it's one of the large ones, like we just scanned. All right. Let's book it for the wall of this thing. No, 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 no. Don't slide out. Oh, we're gonna lose our speed. Yeah, we're losing all our speed. Let's see, is there in the wiki, is there a biome map, I wonder? Kerbal, there we go. The moon does not appear to be one. That's kind of, it's like a travel brochure. That's great. Yeah, I don't think there is one. Dang it. I can get one online if I need one. Oh, now we're headed back this way. Okay, we want to try to go south. Let's just see if we can get a running start and make it up that slope. I am not particularly optimistic about it. Kit, welcome. Hey Kit, for once, you didn't get to redeem first. But you are doing some science, so that's good. Aw, says Kit. So it looks like maybe some of your cows got deleted. Oh, Kitman redeeming hydrate. Here we go. Yum. All right. I was first. Mwahaha. I took a little bit of artistical license there and added an evil laugh. I assume that there probably was one intended. Yeah, we are slowing down. We might have to rocket jump. He helped with the cows. Did the chunk get reverted? Is that what happened? Because that was a lot of cows. We're still moving. Shipwreck might have to get out and push. I think he's too heavy. Six meters per second. Still slowing down, but we might make it. 5 meters per second. He was doing updates, then the server didn't like it, so he loaded a backup save, which he didn't realize was before he logged off. Ah, yep, that would do it. Okay, we are not quite going to make it. I'm gonna clip through that rock. You were up really late. I saw your tweet just as I was headed to bed, pretty late myself. Okay, even with the brake on, yeah, we're going back down. Makes sense, you didn't think anyone would have been on. Rip. Well, I'm glad the cows are okay. Alright, we're gonna try this. Alright, if we can stop our slide, but it looks like we can slow it to about 1.4 meters per second, and that's about it. Alright, we're gonna let it roll. And we're going to attach the rocket motors. Turn around and go up the other side. Actually, over there might be better. So that might be good. Let's see. And get it into a little bit of a slide. Pro driver here. Alright. We're going to get as much speed as we can and go up that side there. To the west. We have to watch out for those rocks. Those are the ones that we can trip on. Fast in the Kerbalist. Too fast, too Kerbal. Oh, I have the dragster designed. I just need to unlock the bigger wheels, which is going to be a bit because we need not only the science. Okay, that's a danger rock right there. We fast 10 your seat belts. Yes. Yeah, that's a little crater. We're not stopping for it. We'll see another one, I'm sure. Yeah, I've got the dragster designed. It is fantastic. It has some issues on low gravity bodies in accidentally getting on escape trajectories. I think this will do it. But it's very cool. There's another big crater. Oh! What did we lose? Okay. Let's turn on torque. Okay. We have a problem. The maneuvers, yes. Okay. We have a problem here. Let's pin that. Leave it over here. Okay. Alright. Direction wheel is disabled. Okay, we lost the docking port. I think that is okay. Let's check. Clampatron docking port junior crashed into the terrain. Okay. I think we're alright. That's broken again, but we can fix it. We still have our solar panels. We lost our antenna and we lost our scanning arm. Okay, I think we're alright. We're gonna be careful here, but that did get us out of the crater. So you said it yourself, Dan, too. All right. Breaks a little bit, and I'm gonna catch up with chat because hilarity is happening. All right. Parking brake on, and I'm gonna do. There we go. I hear a fanfare. Twiglet, thank you very much for the subscription. Okay, so it looks like I've traded a docking port and some scientific equipment for a subscription. Speaking of Kefri Bezos, very nice. All right, let's see. Okay, I saw a meme. Fast 10 your seatbelts, yes. And then the no's are coming in. Oh my word, says Twiglet. The maneuvers, Tokyo Drift. Said it yourself, Dan. Too fast, too Kerbal. Phew, that was hilarious. And into a new one. Yeah, so if you do, I need to add a command to list the commands. So if you do !derp, you can get the derp counter since I added it. I need to find a way to put it on the screen. I know I have a couple ideas, but oh look, we're in the Midland Craters. So it all worked out for the better. All right, let's change our angle here a little bit so that we can maybe fully stop. Yeah, we are sliding like mad. Dang. Yep, new biome. We are in the Midland Craters, and I don't think that we have done science here. Kerbal's on ice. Well, we are going to go back to Minmus soon. Not in this stream, but I want to take a rover there. There's a lot of science to be gathered there. So that might be next week. We'll do Kerbal's on ice. That's a good title. I think I'm going to keep that, Twiglet. I like that. Well, dang it, this just won't stop. That's because we're on an 11.5 degree slope. So instead of stopping, let's turn. Let's see where we are. Yes. Okay. Yeah. This, I think, is the biome right here. The biome boundary. Kitman says, hands will be busy for a few, but still here. No problem, Pro Kitman. I know how that goes. Half the time I'm watching people's streams, my hands are full of kids or doing the dishes or playing a game myself. So, yep. Appreciate you being here for the derpage. All right, let's... Yeah, we can't even transmit our science back until we can stop. Gotta do some laundry. Yes, exactly. Yeah, this is an even heavier slope. 13.5 degrees. Yeah, so I want to see if we can... Maybe if I can actually get it to a stop, then it'll stay at a stop. Almost. No. Dang it. This buggy needs brakes. It has brakes, but it doesn't have traction, and in low gravity, that's even worse. Can you add an extendable spike? Kind of. I mean, I could flip it over. I could flip it over, but then we have the problem of I can't really repair the antenna because then it would be against the ground. But there is, with the ability to do EVA construction, there are grip pads that will, anchors, actually, that will let you anchor something to the ground, and it's really designed for, excuse me, for doing bases. Is this a realistic issue on the moon? Sort of. It's not quite like this, because on the moon, there would be dust, and this game does not simulate dust at all. Okay, we've got a gentler slope, so that could be helpful. Let's slow down. And it's immediately a big slope again. So let's go up here. Circles. But yeah, so gravity helps with traction because it holds the wheels against the ground. So, for example, if you're doing if you're driving in the ice, I know I've driven flatbed trucks before, and just regular pickup trucks. And if you don't have anything in the truck bed and you're driving on like dust or ice, then traction is a real problem. So you want to put some weight down on the back over the rear wheels, and that helps you get traction. So that's an issue here. Even though this is reasonably heavy, basically divide that by 6, and you've got the actual weight of the thing. And yeah, this is still not braking. So yeah. But instead of dust, which there'd be enough dust that possibly we'd be able to dig in and use that to brace ourselves. But instead, this just simply has low friction. So low friction plus low gravity is quite a challenge. Alright, let's head for up there, and if that is still Midland Craters, then we are good to go. Or I could just let it, I could just accept the inevitable and go down here where it's a gentler slope. Let's just do that. I think this is where we're going to end up no matter what. So yes, it's sort of a realistic issue compared to our actual moon, but it's not perfect. Not by quite a bit. But yes, it would be challenging, and even at relatively low speeds, getting air or, you know, vacuum lifting off of the ground. But yeah, the dragster that I designed, the rocket dragster, in testing that in very low gravity environments like Minmus, basically every time I would end up in an escape trajectory, not even orbit, an escape trajectory. Like leaving the sphere of influence entirely. Yeah. Just gonna let it slide here a little bit. But yeah, once we are able to park this thing and get out and do some science, we're gonna be done with the rover, and we're gonna move on to rescuing Kefri Bezos. Yeah, now I want to really do some research into that, see what kind of interviews, what footage, etc. is available regarding the rovers on the moon. That's something that I don't know why I haven't, but I just haven't looked into very much. Yeah, still quite the slope here. Anywhere from 9 to 15 degree slope. Jeez. Plus the physics simulation in this game, while pretty good, is not perfect. Yeah, Minmus is actually frozen, so there are big flat areas of frozen lakes, basically, which are quite slick. And those are where I was testing the dragster, and as soon as I didn't have rockets pushing it against the ground, because of course spoilers don't work when you don't have an atmosphere, we're gonna get the brakes and let it spin just a bit. There we go. So I have to use rockets to hold it against the ground, but as soon as those ran out of fuel, the car was going fast enough that it would just lift off, because the curve is quite a bit more noticeable on a small body like Minimus relative to Kerbal or Earth. So the car would just keep going forwards in a ballistic trajectory that was flatter than the curve of the surface of Minimus, which is hilarious. All right, we're coming down here, and we are still in Midland Craters biome, thank goodness. And we're aiming for right about there where it flattens out. Let's get their view here. Nice. Yeah, this, you can really feel how fast we're going here. We're going quite fast, but braking is not terribly effective at this speed with these issues. That's quite an accomplishment. Yeah. Well, with gravity that low, it's more like failing to overcome a challenge than it is an actual accomplishment. Now do that on Tylo. Is Tylo the one with the lowest gravity, or is that the one that spins so fast that you can't even stay anchored if you're on the equator? Alright. Up here. Hopefully. Okay, 8.8 degree slope. There we go. 7.6. Alright, can we stop? Looks like we can finally stop. A 6 degree slope. Alright. We did it! That was kind of awesome. Alright, and we have full batteries. Excellent. Alright, so Shipwreck, we need you again. Go on EVA here, and we need you to fix the same robot scanning arm that you already fixed. Tylo's the one with no atmosphere and nearly the same gravity as Kerbal. Oh, okay, yeah. That would be interesting. So the interesting factor there would be its circumference. So what the curve would be, because Kerbal has the same gravity as Earth, but has a it's very much smaller. There we go. And repair. We are drifting just a bit. There we go. It's repaired, and now you need to get one over here. But it's probably the same size as Kerbal. I don't think I've ever been to Tylo, actually. Yeah, physics gets calculated a little bit differently once I'm not actually in the thing, which is weird. So, yeah, I've never actually been there, I don't think. Alright, fix the antenna now. There we go. Now let's get in. There's no fixing the docking port. That's gone. Alright. Come on. You can do this. There we go. Nope. You gotta board it, silly. Grab it. Board. There we go. Largest moon of Jewel. Okay. Because I know I've been to Lathe. Alright, let's I'm a stop, please. Alright, we're gonna go up this way. So if it's bigger than Lathe, then yeah, it's probably the same size as Kerbal. But yeah, it'll be big enough that I really doubt that I would have any trouble with escape velocity. Funniest issue I've ever had with a simulated car. Whoops, that's escape velocity. Alright, log pressure data. Pressure scan from the moon's Midland craters. They say Insanity is doing the same thing multiple times and expecting a different result. You check the atmospheric pressure again anyway. Alright, let's send that. You're doing a great job, Kit. Kit, our scientist. This is the Mooner weather report in the Midland craters. There's no atmosphere. Alright, let's log some seismic data as well. The sensor has detected a minor quake on the surface. Cool. Let's send that. And how is our electric charge? Looks like it's doing okay. And we'll probably need to stop and charge the batteries. Okay, so it's basically noon here, so let's time warp a little bit. Let the batteries charge. We've got maximum exposure to the sun. Very nice. And now let's get some mystery goo observation. Goo appears to be in the same state of awe that you are. It's hard because it's so massive, says Kit, but it has no atmosphere, so all the fuel you have to bring along for both landing and lift off. Oh, that's right, yeah, because you can't use parachutes, you can't aero brake. Yeah, that is an interesting challenge. Okay, well, we're gonna go there in this playthrough, so yeah, we're gonna go everywhere by the end. We're being held back by our technology level right now, but once we unlock the next tier of technologies, we'll be able to send a lot of things, a lot of places much more quickly than we are now. And I want to process ore into fuel on different planets. In thrust we trust, Skit. Yep, exactly. You watch Joe Bernard in his model rockets? Because he says that. Alright, Kit, let's get out. Just lithobraking. Yes. Alright, climb out. And how about, let's plant a flag. And we're gonna call this one Too Fast, Too Kerbal. Thanks, Kid. Oops. Nope, I need to caps lock. There we go. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure he's not the one that came up with that first, but he's doing reusable, like launching and landing with solid rocket motors of model rockets. And it's fascinating. He hasn't gotten there yet, but he's gotten very close. Slip sliding away. There we go. All right, let's do an EVA report. That's one small step for Kerbal and one big cupboard of snacks for said Kerbal. All right, we're gonna keep that. We'll need to get back in there to transmit it. And let's take a surface sample. The patterning of this surface sample is particularly interesting. Nice. Hold on a second, I am gonna sneeze. Gesundheit. All right, let's get back in. Let's reset these actually. Restore and restore. Excellent. And climb aboard. And now we need to transmit our data. So let's get a crew report too. You feel awestruck at the beaten up nature of the moon. Okay, so this has been this has been profitable. For all the derps and the shenanigans, we've actually done very well here. Review the stored data. Let's send the info from the surface sample and from the EVA report. And we should have, okay, yep, there we go. And how are we doing on the science now? We have 736. That is fantastic. All right, we're going to leave these guys here for now at this new crater. Yeah, so we've traveled, basically we traveled around this way, and then down, and then around this lip, down into this crater, where we went back and forth, and then up and into here. So I think another biome is this little kind of canyon here, and possibly this crater. In fact, this crater right here, you see this boundary right here? I think this is a different biome. So we're going to do that in the future, because there is more science to be gathered here. But let's now go back to our space station. Not the nearby fuel tank, we want Arcadia Station. And we're going to send the rescue craft, which has about 3/4 fuel, and no more to refuel it. Those missions are expensive, so we might be holding off on further operations of this for a little while. But there's our pilot raider. Engineers Elric the Troll King, another pilot, Bowsy, and we've got Munchie the Engineer. And okay, that's who we've got here. But this is an all-viewer crew. This is you guys. And let's go ahead and let's leave these guys aboard. Everyone's coming along. And undock. Okay, good. We have nearly full monopropellant. We have nearly full fuel. We have almost 2.5 kilometers per second of delta V, which is fantastic. So now we need to choose our target. Ships. And here it is. Kefri Bezos Wreckage. And let's see where that is relative to us. Right there. Okay, that's really easy. Murgan, Ganodon we've already rescued, I think. Yeah, some of these, depending on what kind of capsule it is, sometimes I can't change it to debris type, and I'll need to edit the save file to make sure these are debris. Come on, Kefri, says Twiglet. And Anemone, that's another one we need to rescue, but I'm going to leave those there to be renamed in the future. It's not like they're going to time out anytime soon, and we don't have life support mods installed, so Kefri Bezos Wreckage. Basically, we need to adjust our inclination a little bit. Let's add a maneuver here. Not ideal, but we're already past the descending node, and he's on a lower orbit, which means that he circles faster than we do. All right. So if we go around, let's see when we get an optimum encounter. Okay, cool. So if we do this at the next ascending node, that's pretty good. But if we do it right here, so if we wait almost one orbit, that's pretty good. And since it's a descending node and we're very close to it, we can also add a little bit of normal to this. Let's, there we go. All right, our separation is 2.7 kilometers at that approach. It looks like that is actually not going to help us at all because it's pretty much at the ascending node that we're encountering it. All right. So let's zero that out and see if we can fine-tune this at all. Not like that, but maybe with some radial in or out. Radial out is doing it. Just a bit, though. All right, that's as good as we're going to get it right there. Okay, so that node is in 33 minutes, so let's go ahead and time warp around to about here. That'll give us a little bit of lead time. Just watch the planet go by beneath us. And then here we are at night. Hopefully we're doing this rescue in the daytime. We always seem to be at night. Alright, we're back to normal speed. Let's go ahead and close our docking port doors here. And put our reference to the target. Alright, so we need to get right to that maneuver node. Let's point towards it. Yeah, we actually need to be in orbit still. There we go. Just wait half year, and that spot is in the day. That's true. That's true. Then we'd miss our launch window, which is in 6 days. Alright, so it's going to be... by the time we get there, this will have drifted towards this retrograde marker, so we're going to point retrograde for now. And the burn time is 1 second. It's a tiny burn. So, of course, as usual, we're going to do this at very low thrust for the sake of precision. "30 seconds away." All right, here we go. All right, Raider, we're depending on you. You are the pilot. All right, we're going to wait about 5 seconds and gently burn. All right, here we go. Just about there. It's looking pretty good. What was that? Something exploded. Photovoltaic panels collided with a Mark II to 1.5 meter adapter. Okay, well, I'm gonna crack that up to the Kraken here. That was the game physics being weird. Yep, one of these solar panels crashed into the place it's attached to. All right, okay. All right, so that interrupted our burn a little bit, but still, it's not bad. We've got a separation of 6.3 kilometers, and yeah, that was the Kraken. Or maybe, did the primary buffer panel just fly off my Goram ship for no Goram reason? I think that was the primary buffer panel. All right, let's, Okay, so that is in 16 minutes, half an orbit, and it's at the Terminator, so maybe we'll get some cool views. Maybe we'll do this during sunset. Let's go ahead and warp to here. Good thing this thing has more solar power than it needs, so we'll be okay. All right, let's point retrograde relative to the target. We're already in with our target as a reference. This is the captain speaking. We might encounter some slight turbulence and then explode. All right, we're going to push the retrograde marker towards the anti-target marker here, and if things are right, that will go down. That's going up, so we are not close enough for an accurate eyeballing of this maneuver. Yep, that's drifting that way. Okay. So we need to do the burn over here. And even that is not doing what I'd like it to. There we go. Yeah, now it's drifting this way, so orbital mechanics are interesting. Sometimes I'm good at eyeballing it, and other times I need to test it a couple times, like there. But it looks like we've figured it out, and that number is going down, which means on our closest approach, we'll have an even closer approach. That was very well worded, Dan. Well done. We're tightening our separation at approach. Alright, that's pretty good for now. Let's point retrograde. We're 13.5 kilometers away from you, Kefri. Hold in there. Hang in there. I'm gonna laugh if he doesn't have hair. I think they all have hair with this texture mod. But it would be very funny if we got there and Kefri was bald. Alright, so I'm getting a sense of how these are drifting apart, and I want to push them back together. So we're going to put our nose on the other side of this marker and push it right back towards the anti-target marker. Ah, Twiglet, redeeming hydrate. So, I wonder how Kefri would feel if he knows that the person controlling the ship is drinking alcohol as he does. Just a bit. I'm well under the legal limit. I don't know if there... I mean, this is my universe. There is no legal limit for flying a spaceship. It is what I say it is. But even if there was one, I'm well under it. Alcohol is just legal minimum, I think. Yep. Alcohol is just extra fuel. Yeah. Well, funny thing about that, the strongest stuff you can get at your typical liquor store is too concentrated to be ideal for rocket fuel. Scott Manley has some very fascinating videos about that. Makes it hard to get the mixture with the liquid oxygen right. There's Kefri, 8 kilometers away. And also, it means heavier particles coming out of the back of the engine, which hits efficiency. So yeah, the ethanol-powered rockets, such as the ones that the Germans used in World War II, typically used about 75% ethanol, which is the alcohol in beer and whiskey. And yes, they would indeed have to add a bitterant to it, otherwise some of the kegs of rocket fuel would mysteriously disappear. The Russians in particular had that issue. Yeah, because it would be essentially double strength vodka is literally what they were putting in. And one of the advantages of that is it's a whole lot easier to make liquid oxygen than it is to make liquid hydrogen. So Hydrolox rockets are a lot more difficult to develop. All right, let's point retrograde and start killing our velocity. But ethanol is a whole lot easier and is liquid at room temperature. So you don't have to do cryogenic like you do with the hydrogen. So the only cryogenic you have to worry about is the oxygen, which is a whole lot easier to do. All right, Kefri, your rescue has arrived. Get a little closer. There we go. That's about as close as we're going to get. The marker jumps as it changes the render calculations as I do the physics warp. All right, we're going to get within 190 kilometers. Yeah, don't overshoot. Kefri would not appreciate it. All right, here comes our closest approach. Let's go ahead and come to a relative stop. There it is. All right, let's go take a look at Kefri. And yes, it is indeed night. Although there's the moon. All right, look at this. He's in one of these rover pods. All right, let's rename the vessel and classify it as debris. Kefri Bezos wreckage. And here he is. He has hair. He's an engineer and he has hair. All right, EVA for Kefri Bezos. And let go. And let's see. Planes, Rescue 3, that's our target. Let's look at the target. There it is. Yeah, it's hard to find it in the dead of night. Let's turn on his suit lights. There we go. Be an economist. Financial engineer then. Yeah, business engineer. So engineer is appropriate. I picked at random for this one since Twiglet stated that there was no preference here. It would be the most terrifying thing to do. It would be both terrifying and I think fun, honestly. But I would rather have it be under more controlled circumstances than, oops, looks like my entire ship exploded around me and I'm stuck in orbit and depending on someone else's space agency to rescue me. That would be less than ideal. And that's the situation Kefri has found himself in. All right. Let's get a selfie. Looks like we're headed towards dawn. So actually, let's it'll drift a little bit, but that's fine. But let's get some dawn light for our selfie. There we go. There's the sun. We're gonna go over here. And slow down. There we go. And actually, let's there we go. We're gonna pose this. We're gonna pose it right. Wouldn't be Kefri Bezos without a proper photo op, right? There we go. Let's change the field of view. All right. All right. Say snacks. There we go. All right, let's reset the field of view and let's climb aboard, Kefri. So Twiglet, remind me, you do not have Twitter, right? If you do, I couldn't find it, and I'd love to know where it is, but if you don't, that is fine. All right, here we come on the crew hatch. Here we go, right up to it. There we go. Aboard. There we go. Kefri has been rescued. All right, let's leave this here for now. So this will be here for future rescues if needed. And did I do that hydrate? I don't know. I think I did. I talked about it because there's comments. So I'm going to hydrate again, though. That one's for you, Kefri. All right, let's go back to the Space Center. And let's reveal our big mission. Pro Kitman redeeming stretch. That's a good call. Thank you, Kit. Stretch out that spine. Don't let your back get bad like Dan's. Let's see. Oh, I got some requests, some redeems to finish. There we go. Awesome. And also there is Twiglet's redeem, name my Kerbal, rescue my Kerbal. Kefri Bezos is rescued. I mean, we still need to put him back on the surface, but we snatched him out of orbit. Always good to pop a few vertebrae, says Kit. Yes, it is. All right, let's just double check, see if there are any new missions available, and none that I actually want. Don't want to make an orbital station in solar orbit. We could pick some rovers, yeah. Test the atomic rocket motor orbiting the sun. Oh no. Yeah, let's not do any of those. Let's look at our big rocket to Moho. And this is in a different save file, my sandbox. Test program, that's what we want. And we want Moho Orbiter 1.0. And we're gonna rename this. Unless someone has a better backronym, in which case I'm happy to rename this, but for now I'm gonna call it the MRE, the Moho Research Expedition. And save, so now it'll be in this save file. So yeah, what we have here is our familiar Callisto heavy launch vehicle. And I think, no, I'm gonna leave that silver. So we've got two spacecraft up here. One is an orbiter and one is a lander. So this is an ambitious mission, and chances of success are not at all guaranteed. And we aren't even gonna know if it succeeds for quite a while, because it's going to take about 350 days, I think, in game to get to Moho. But we'll do the launch today, and we're going to attempt to land this booster. This is an expensive mission. This is about a quarter of our funding here. About a fifth of it, actually. So, but it should be worthwhile. So, yep, we've got our orbiter, and it's got some scientific experiments. It's got the magnetometer on it, and a big relay antenna, because we will need to be able to keep in contact with this thing to properly control it. And I need to remember on launch to extend the solar panels, so help me remember that. In testing it, I forgot that multiple times, and basically had a dead spacecraft on an escape trajectory, which is no good. And yeah, the lander, of course, has the standard set of scientific experiments on it that are available to us at this time. It doesn't have the mystery goo. There's not a lot of point putting that on there. It's a lot of extra weight for a one-off experiment. But these are very lightweight one-offs. So we've got the seismic accelerometer, the press map barometer, and the too hot thermometer. So that is our... I just said we don't have the mystery goo, and look at that. There's a mystery goo on it right there. How heavy is that? I think I was testing that. 0.05 tons. Okay. I had it on there while I was testing, so I lied. We do have a mystery goo, and we're going to do that. All right, so let's go ahead and take it out to the pad and get it in the air. And for once, we're actually going to look for a real launch window during the day. We're going to launch at about noon. And there's a very good reason for that, and I'll show you that when we get to orbit. So right now, it looks like it's morning, so let's point the camera upwards and let's time warp to about noon. No. Kit saying, don't forget you're AFK in the open and it becomes night. Yeah, we don't want creepers coming up to our rocket. That would be no good. All right, there we go. It's about noon. Oh man, says Twiglet. I don't know if that's the right inflection for that meme, but there we go. All right, our flight manager for recoverable stages is armed. I heard a creeper sizzle, and I jumped and slapped my keyboard trying to alt-tab and run away. Oh, so you're saying that just happened in-game. Okay, I see. Don't look the Kerbals directly in the eye. I didn't die, but didn't outrun it. Oh, geez. Oh, no. Are your cows okay, Kit? Yeah, just now. Okay. Yeah, I thought you were making a joke about the rocket being out in the open, because, yeah, there's plenty of spots for creepers. All right, let's pull up the flight recorder. There we go. We want our typical altitude, acceleration, and dynamic pressure. Was enthralled by your game. Oh, that's good to know. And let's see, we want to throttle up, turn stability assist on, and fine control is on. All right, here we go. Let's double check our staging real quick. That looks good. And then we got that interstage fairing, and then the middle stage, top fairing, and then we've got the engines inside. Okay, perfect. All right, we are ready to go. Let's choose, this is a big launch. Let's choose a cool place to view it from. So we want to set the target. And let's set our position. Where do we want to watch this from? Let's watch it from the Research and Technology Center right there. That'll be cool. Oh, right. We don't want the auto flyby. That's why it was doing that. There we go. All right, here we go. We are ready to launch. All right, let's do our countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lift off. Correcting our landing gear, and the vehicle is pitching downrange. That's a big rocket. Vehicle is supersonic. And we have maximum aerodynamic pressure. That is quite a view. I like this a lot. Yep, we are getting some of the re-entry effects because we're going so fast in the atmosphere. All right, let's go to telemetry view here. And we don't need this anymore. Let's go ahead and close the flight recorder. And we have main engine cutoff, stage separation. And we want to get a little bit of separation here. And second engine start. All right, we'll come back to that stage. We're going to point right at the horizon here. And now we are in space, so let's go ahead and deploy the other fairing. Very nice. Yep, and we can see our spacecraft right here. All right, things are looking normal so far. I should get a sound alert of John Innsbrucker saying "normal." That would be pretty awesome. Yeah, I need to get some sound alerts specific to the state of missions, because I bet there were some cool, hilarious opportunities while we were drifting on the surface. Did you do the panels? Oh, thank you, the solar panels. Thank you so much, Twiglet. No, I did not. There we go. Would have been bad. More power! But yeah, this is pretty peaceful here. We just ride this thing, mostly to orbit. We're going to be on our next stage by the time we actually get there. Let's choose Moho as our target. And yeah, so the reason that we launched around noon is, well, first off, we'd need to burn east to get a good, efficient orbit. But second off, we're not just escaping Kerbin, we are trying to lower our orbit around the sun to match Moho. So optimum time to launch is noon, because then we can burn that way relative to the sun, and that slows us down. So we are speeding up relative to Kerbin, slowing down relative to the sun at the same time. So that makes this an efficient maneuver. If we were going to an outer planet, we would want to launch at around midnight, because then we would be using the velocity of Kerbin to our advantage. Instead, we are fighting the velocity of Kerbin around the sun. So that's why it is so difficult and expensive to get to Moho. And our second engine is depleted, so let's stage. We got our next engine. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and hold prograde now. So what I'm hoping for is that we can get into a good polar orbit, or near it, around Moho, because then we've got our satellite, our orbiter, with a lot of opportunity to get solar power and to transfer data back to Kerbin. Pro Kitman saying, gonna lurk for a bit, be back later. Thanks for dropping by, Kit. Enjoy your lurk. Watch out for those creepers. Alright, we've just about got our orbit. But yeah, we're basically doing a direct descent here. So we could technically launch whenever, and then when we get back around, we could burn then, but a direct descent is nice for these missions. I could also probably have done a gravity assist from the moon, but I'm not that ambitious yet. This I know how to do, so this is what we're gonna do. I am thinking in the future of doing a kind of a Voyager-style mission and seeing how many planets we can hit with one mission doing gravity assists. When our Joule probe finally gets to Joule, which is about a year from now in-game, we'll see We'll see how many of Jules' moons we can encounter, and if, from there, we can use a gravity assist to slingshot to somewhere else. The next planet that we have an opportunity to... Yeah, that actually would have been a good slingshot right there, but that's okay. The next planet we have an opportunity to launch to is, I believe, Drez. In fact, this is hampering us just a little bit. There we go. Alright, that's 18 days away. We've got... Unfortunately, we've got a moon encounter as well. Alright, how far away is the ascending node? Yeah, that's not accurate. 1 year and 11 days, it's less than that. So let's go ahead and let's let time move forward. Let's warp to Kerbal Escape. If it'll let me, there we go. Cannot auto warp so far. Really? Oh, it's because of the encounter here. Okay, so let's warp to here. Yeah, the game doesn't trust itself to handle the physics through that many changes in sphere of influence. Yeah, but unfortunately the moon is slowing us down just a little bit, but I think it'll be fine. Warp complete, so now I think we can warp here. There we go. And that's 15 days, so yeah, this is going to move the clock forward, which is exactly what we want. See if I can find Kerbal. Should be the opposite side from the sun. But we're very far away from it. Moho transfer window. It looks like I misspelled that. Yeah, delete and close. Okay, actually Kerbal is just to the right of the sun. Can we see it? No, we can't see it. It's obscured by the sun. Alright, now I think, though, we can warp to right here. Nope. Still don't trust that time warp. It's going to take us way too far if I do that. So we're going to do this manually, and because Twiglet reminded me to extend the solar panels, we have we have power. All right, we are in space high around the sun. Oh, I see. Okay, so the ascending node is actually way over there. That is okay. That's why it was telling me a year. So if I add a maneuver here, let's see what kind of encounter we can get. Okay, that's the orbit we're headed for, and here, right here, is our orbit after our maneuver. And yeah, this is a big burn. Can I focus? I focus this right here. Let's add a maneuver and see if I can focus it. Nope. No, I don't want to set Eve. I want... want this maneuver node. Come on, man. Here we go. Oh, this... Come on, game. Work with me here. There we go. Let's delete that and edit this. Why will it not let me edit that? That is... Oh, come on, game. Come on, game. Work with me. Don't do this to me, game. See, I have probe control, I have electricity. All right, let's delete this and let's try it again. Interesting, so something might be... Oh, interesting, it added a maneuver over here? Why did it do that? Okay, there we go. This game, sometimes, I swear. Let's add a maneuver. 1.5 hours. There we go. All right, sorry about that. That was frustrating. All right, let's set this maneuver up again. Let's get as close to Moho as we can with this. And that was it right there, where those little tick marks showed up. There we go. That is what we want right there. So once we get down here to the descending node, we're going to need to do another very small burn, but that is in 200 days. Whereas this maneuver is in 1.5 hours, so we can do that right now. Shipwreck, welcome. First, Shipwreck. I hate to admit this, don't tell you that I said this, but your Kerbal came in very handy twice. Well, also was the cause of some issues, I have to say, because you were driving the rover on the moon rather recklessly and rolled it a couple times, and then had to get out and fix it, but at least you could fix it. So, you know, that's appreciated. All right, let's warp to this maneuver. Yeah, it was very exciting times on the moon. All right, and now we want to point towards the maneuver node. Yeah, welcome to the stream, Shipwreck. Thanks for dropping by. I hear you had to rescue, or resurrect rather, ProKitman's cows. But have you been to Uranus? I don't understand. All right, so let's go ahead and do this burn, and it's not very important that we do it right on time, so yeah, let's just go. And this is gonna burn off the majority of our remaining Delta V. Right now, we're on our way to Moho. There's our periapsis. Dropping ever so slowly towards the orbit of Moho. All right, let's go ahead and speed the game up just a little bit. We're about halfway through the burn, and things are looking pretty good. After this, though, I have to try to land the booster. We'll see. I was trying to practice that before the stream, and, well... Alright, slow back down to real time. Last bit of the burn, as usual, we will throttle down and get some precision, which is a luxury we have in this game that we don't really have with real rockets. we go. 30 meters per second to go. Alright, that is as precise as we're going to be on this. So now let's plan the next maneuver. Once we get here to the descending node, and that's in 111 days, we just need a little bit of a retrograde burn. And we want those tick marks to come close together. Zoom in as close as we can. We're anchored over there, so this is tricky. There we go. And that is an encounter right there. So once we get there, we need to burn about 60 meters per second. So let's add an alarm to this. We want it to be a maneuver alarm, and we want to be 1 day ahead of it. Give us plenty of time to check. And this is our caps locked in Moho encounter. All right, so let's look at our alarms. Next thing we've got is our Dres transfer window, which is in 25 days. So maybe we'll send another one of these missions next stream. Then we've got our Moho encounter, and then our Elu transfer window. So yeah, then we're coming up on these. It'll be a while before we have a good approach at Duna again, so hopefully we'll have more science by then. And this maneuver here, I should rename. Valentina maneuver. So that's when Valentina can do her maneuver to get an encounter with home. And yeah, our Jewel encounter is not for another 3.5 years. So we'll be sending something else that might even beat it there, depending on what technology we have available by then. But yeah, okay, let's go and do the Research Expedition probe is our booster. Let's see if we can land it. We have one shot at this. Here we go. Chances are we'll get something back. Whether that's, you know, the whole booster is unlikely. All right. And if this works how I think it does, that should ignite its engine soon, or it might just drift. But yeah, we've already done that leg of the mission, so we don't have to worry about it now. It'll merge the save files once we've done this, whether we succeed or not. Let's choose our landing site. It looks like only a little bit of a boost back burn is needed. So yeah, first we need to actually unlock our fuel tanks. Gonna hurt. There we go. Stop those engines from wiggling like that. Here you go, Shipwreck. Since you made the joke, I did go right up in here to unlock that fuel tank. You're welcome. All right, fuel is unlocked. Let's do that there. Auto strut these two. Just goes. All right. And now let's go back to the map view, and so that crosshair right there is where we will actually land. That's our current trajectory, but once we hit the atmosphere, we're going to slow down, plus the surface is moving, since Kerbal is rotating. So yeah, let's turn SAS back on. We have 1,400 meters per second to work with. We're just going to gently move that crosshair onto land. There we go. That should suffice. All right, let's time warp until we are back in the atmosphere. There's our ballistic trajectory right there. There we go. All right, yep, and we are coming in hot. So we're definitely going to do an entry burn once we start heating up here. All right, starting to get a little toasty. All right, starting our boost back burn. Oh, we don't have control because of the plasma effects. I was just a little too late, but I think we'll actually be okay. And this will leave us with more to land with. Yeah, we're slowing down pretty quick. Our engines are overheating a little bit, but I think we'll be all right. Yeah, we're right on the edge of operable temperatures here. All right, landing burn has started. Landing gear have deployed. Not sure what that was. Turn on our RCS for attitude control. Woo! Okay, yeah, let's be a little careful here. Right, let's get control back. Ah, lost 2 engines. Okay. That is better than most of my rehearsals. So hopefully when we unlock some more technology, I'll have a much more reliable reusable booster. But you know what? That's not, you know, the damage doesn't look so bad from over here. That's pretty good. In fact, let's see. Let's get a nice screenshot. As we do. What the? Okay. Interesting. Okay, that's showing me everything that's in orbit. I didn't know it would do that. Alt-right click. Okay, that's good to know. I learned something new today. All right, let's see how much we can get from recovering this. We need to do it through this and not through this. Otherwise, I've learned that lesson. Otherwise, I will lose a lot of progress. So let's jump back to the main mission. There we go. And this here we can delete. Recovered. Okay, cool. That can go. And let's check our messages here. All right, we got some science from our surface outposts. We saved Kefri Bezos Kerman, redeemed by P.I.G.L.E.T. And Moho booster is recovered. Okay, we got 75,000 Spaceos back. That's actually pretty good. We'd have gotten about 100, 110 if we hadn't lost a couple engines, but that is a lot, so I will take it. And we can close this now. Reset. Yep, close. Fantastic. And our science, we've got 736 science. Let's go to the Space Center and take a look at the tech tree as we're getting ready to wrap it up. All right, research and development. So yeah, here's the issue. I can get anything in either of these tiers, but what I really want is a very heavy rocketry. This has some very nice engines that will make things a whole lot easier for space exploration. And we can also get some big fuel tanks, etc. And also, these wheels here are the ones that I want for the dragster that King Kung's Kerbal, Kungbul Spacey Kerman is what he named him, will be using for some stunt driving. So I need to upgrade to be able to unlock this tier. Yeah, cannot research technologies over 500 science at this level. And here's the issue. To upgrade, the research and development building costs 1 3/4 million spaceos. I'm over 1 million spaceos short of that, so more missions in the future. So let's go ahead and unlock something that we can, though. So we've got nuclear propulsion is an option, and this will give us some very expensive, very heavy, but very efficient rocket engines. Large volume containment gives us some bigger fuel tanks. Not a bad thing to have. And this one, Advanced Metalworks, gives us some more docking ports, which are cool, but not particularly necessary. I could get some airplane parts. I haven't done anything with airplanes yet. Airplanes are really, really finicky in this game, but I probably should. Heavy landing gives us an inflatable heat shield, which is cool, and some big airplane landing gear. Specialized control, not much there. Scanning tech. This might be very worthwhile because more science opportunities. So we can send an infrared telescope up, some surface scans, and a bigger scanning arm. So this will give us more data from those surface features. So I think I'm probably going to do that, but let's just double check here what we've got. We have more probe cores. We're doing fine with our existing ones, and more batteries and solar panels, which we are doing fine for now. So yeah, let's do that. Let's unlock scanning tech. And by the time we have enough money to upgrade this facility, we're going to have a whole lot more science as well. But yeah, let's take one more quick look. Whoops, that's where I just was. At our rover. Especially since Shipwreck is here now. This did it get renamed because of the crash? I bet it did, because the root part. Yeah, the root part was that was that docking port that exploded. So I think it got reclassified. Let's find out. Yep, yes it did indeed. All right, let's rover, and it is just the P.I.G.L.E.T 1. There we go. But yeah, here we are on this crater, and we also want to drive south. So maybe we do a little bit more driving for the last 5 minutes or so before we call it a day. Yep, there's our engineer/driver Shipwreck and our scientist Kit. Let's go ahead and release the parking brake, and let's drive south. That's the wrong way. This way is south. We're going to go up around this ridge right here. Yeah, we're in the Midland Craters, and up there is the lowlands. And I think that the twin craters with the canyon between them are another biome. So hopefully so, because that would be fantastic for getting more data. And I really want some bigger wheels so that we can send a better rover to Minmus. Yeah, Shipwreck, you had to get out and repair this scanning arm twice and this antenna once. And the docking port is just gone. There's nothing to repair there. It exploded. See, can we see Kerbin yet? Nope, we need to get up higher on this ridge before we have a good view of Kerbin. And yeah, this thing struggles, we have found, to get up any appreciable slope, and this is quite a steep slope, so we're not going to be able to go directly up it. We've got to go kind of a switchback like this. We almost got ourselves stuck in a crater, or rather shipwreck almost drove us into a crater we'd have been stuck in. Let's look at the map while we do this. Yeah, we're driving south, and we want to get down into here. So we're gonna get up this ridge and then go kind of south-southeast. I was kind of thinking of maybe coming to pick this rover up and then moving it to Minmus, but that plan was counting on a docking port. So if I want to do that, I'll have to deliver another docking port. Alright, and actually I think over that way is where we want to go. So let's change course a little bit. No, this is already southeast. Welcome. 4 down and eternity to go. Oh, that's nice to say. Thank you. Thank you for resubscribing, Bowser. Very much appreciated. Yep, you're catching us at the end, unfortunately. So we are taking the rover for just another little spin for the last couple minutes. But we had a very, very productive, very successful stream here. We took this rover for a spin, and we gathered quite a bit of scientific data from the surface of the moon. We rescued Twiglet's Kerbal, Kefri Bezos, and we also sent a new mission on its way to Moho. I get a bunch of resub emails, unsure whom they're for. Apparently you are one. And Raider redeemed Stretch. Okay. I'm gonna keep one hand on the keyboard here. Actually, we're gonna pause because I need both hands. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Raider. Oh, very much needed. I was starting to slouch, so now I'm sitting straight. Yeah, over this ridge. This is where we need to go. This is the right course because we're going south-southeast. And maybe we'll start the next stream with some of that. But yeah, we've got some things coming up. So if we look at this, our Dres transfer window is coming up in about 3.5 weeks in-game. So we need to have a mission ready for that. And I think it's just going to be the exact same mission that I just launched towards Moho. Yeah, we're struggling to get up this hill. I think we'll make it, but yeah, we're struggling. But yeah, so we'll be doing that, and then the next big event is encountering Moho in 111 days. So we'll also be doing some more rescues. We're going to send a rover to Minmus and get more science, and I might do some little missions, grindy, boring stuff in between to get a little bit of cash. And I'm having to do a switch back here, because we are running out of speed. This thing really struggles. Low gravity and low traction are not a great combo. All right, but yeah, we've got a little bit of momentum here, so let's go back up the hill and switch back the other way. And this is just in time for us to end. What is that over there? That is Jewel. So we can see Jewel from here. Yeah, we've got probes headed there, but they won't be there for another, what, 3 years did it say? Yeah, 3.5 years. So probably our next mission to Jewel will get there before the existing mission. That's my prediction. All right, can we get up on this ridge? Yes, we can. All right, we're gonna stop and break up here and enjoy the view, and I'm going to sign off. Just a little bit of drift. There we go. Yeah, we had some excitement in this rover today. All right. Yeah, this is quite the slope, but can we get to that little bit of a lip right up there? I think we can. All right, and brake. All right, I'm gonna park this. I'm gonna park this afterwards, but let's just enjoy the view. And this buttery smooth frame rate with my new CPU. I am so pleased with this. Very nice. And Jewel off in the distance. All right, yeah, thanks everyone for dropping by. We had a lot of fun today. Got a lot of progress done. And thank you for the follows and the resubs. So let's see, is there anyone that we can raid? Let's raid Anna. She's playing Minecraft. Dill, am I late? Yes, I'm sorry, Dill. You are late. We are ending right now. But I appreciate that you are dropping by. Yeah, we had a lot of science that we did and a new mission that we launched. But yeah, we'll do it again next week. And so I'll be back on Monday with some Minecraft, and I haven't decided what I want to do on Wednesday. Oh, Supreme Doom is crafting. Let's raid her. I have not caught one of her crafting streams yet. Science hurts my head anyways. Yeah. Understandable. Yeah, Supreme Doom, makers and crafting. Let's do that. Let's raid Supreme Doom. I'd say I'm gonna jump into her stream just in case I hit an ad. I don't know if I will or not. Looks like nope. Yep, she is making cards. All right. Yep. So yeah, I'll be back on Monday with some Minecraft, and Wednesday with either Minecraft or maybe some more Risk of Rain 2. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do there yet. Let's raid Supreme Doom. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. I'm starting the raid right now, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!